Death Metal Podcast tonight on a Friday. So tonight we're gonna go. There's no way we could really encapsulate all of European death metal or black metal of '88 to '94, but I figure we would touch upon some like different stuff, like fanzines and demos and letter writing, even more like the things that got people into like the doing that stuff. So like I figured that this would be a good episode just to talk about a little of everything, man. I look good with glasses. Thank you. How's it going, everybody? How you doing? How's it going, Leslie? Impede, Iris, Rob Peep, Joker, Gutbag. How you guys doing tonight? Teddy Tommy. So years ago, right, there was this magazine. It was called Metal Forces, and like we would find like information through like this magazine, probably in like '88 or so. It was like a imported magazine that would be imported to the United States. It was from the UK though. But I'm going to show you like the dichotomy of like what a Metal Forces was all about and how little information that you could actually get from. So see, on a Metal Forces magazine, they had a section called Pen Bangers, and then they had another section. It was like Demolition. And basically, you would read Demolition and read one paragraph about a band in here, and then you would maybe find out something about like a death metal band or a black metal band or something. And it's funny because this magazine, here's the cover, Skid Row, baby. And then, Primus, Extreme. I see Massacre on there, though. Armored Saint, Saigon Kick. But on the back cover, you have an advertisement for cancer, but basically, we would buy these stupid magazines with Skid Row on it. And let me see what the price on the cover says, $3.98. But basically, we would buy this just to get some of this stuff, too, in the back pages. Just these little, tiny little advertising kind of classifieds, And this is how we found out about a lot of underground stuff, just due to reading Metal Forces, basically, or Kerrang! And like that Demolition section. Skid Row, baby. So I would have to buy a magazine with a cover with Skid Row on it to figure out if, that's a definite mixture on there. So CIA. Yeah. So I mean, you would, like at times there was even a time or two where I didn't want to buy the magazine, so I ripped the page out in the store and just stuffed it in my pocket. But that's illegal, obviously. So tonight on Death Metal Podcast, I loaded up some photos of some of my Metal Maniacs too. True. Maybe that would be. This is the episode on up to 94. So I don't think Metal Maniacs, if they did exist, maybe 94. Yeah, I mean, I guess they were around actually by then. You would find some stuff. Seemed like they were focused on thrash at the time. What's going on, everybody? So a lot of my early formative years from 88, 89, 90, yeah, Metal Maniacs was okay, Rip magazine was cool. There was a couple, It was definitely cool. So tonight, we're going to try to focus strictly on, just like worldwide and like Euro and Japan and maybe some Canada thrown in there, Australia, just to be a little of, to touch on like fanzines and 7-inches, a little bit of letter writing, mostly just how we found our death metal and how we found our earliest black metal stuff. It was just Roy is a metal maniac. I mean, I tried, dude. I first heard about Deicide from Metal Maniacs, and they covered the Amon demos. Okay, well there you go. So that's cool. I mean, I might have glossed over that at that time. I did like Deicide's first album for like maybe like 2 months. The Gore Grind and Grindcore web scene, yeah, that was kind of when the internet hit, though. So this is like this is pre-internet we're talking here. And just, all early, the early days, pre-MySpace, pre-internet, dude. When you had to write a letter from, another country, and receive back and get information that was like kind of deep, man. I mean, the letters would say like, you know, like I'm listening to Dysentery and Impaled Nazarene and Messiah Paratroopers. It says Demolic R.I.P. on here, which makes me laugh, you know. And then, you know, there would be like these small flyers that would go around in the scene. So it would be stuff like this, and then you would write to the bands that would be on the flyer. Demolic, Regurgitation of Blood rehearsal demo out now. And just based on just the logo, literally buy that, you know. So, and then there would, you know, and stuff like this, Abhorrent, Occultist Brujeria demo. I think some of these guys later, one member went on to join Mayhem, you know. Or, you know, a lot of Seraphic Decay brought a lot of Euro stuff into the United States. So a lot of their EPs, Disgrace, you know, Abhorrence, early guys from Abhorrence. There's an old photo of them playing. No flannels, which is amazing. You know, these old Finnish people would write their letters on the back of these. So you would get a letter, and then it would be written on the back of a Zizma, Menticide, Skeptical, Schizo, Fun Cunt flyer or something. And then inside the letter, they would talk about like the different stuff like from their country, if you asked them, you know. And that's kind of how I really kind of try to get into things, you know. Maximum Rock and Roll started 86. Maximum Rock and Roll was also a spot where I would read like 2 paragraphs in there. So, metal rules, dude. So yeah, the Gore Grind web scene was this shit. I used to trade all the time. I missed that, or going to shows, buying what looked brutal. Exactly. And we went by what looked brutal. I mean, like, we went to a show. Well, I didn't buy these through shows, but you know, like I would send for a mail order, well, you know, to get something like this, like Afflicted 7-inch, you know? And this was on Thrash Records, if I remember correctly, from France. So this was the early Afflicted 7-inch. It's ingrained. Killer band, obviously. Members of General Surgery were in here, members of Crematory, etc., etc. And then, you know, everything kind of intermingled, you know, like bands, just like in the United States. What's up, John Grave? Just like in the United States, like the bands like intermingled with each other a little bit. So you had members of General Surgery in Crematory, and you had members of like, you know, things like that. And then there was different scenes too. I mean, there was a kind of like a death metal scene and kind of like a more blackened scene. So you might see something like Samael, you know, Into the Infernal Storms of Evil. Or this was an early flyer too that went around, a Samael's new shirt for the Medieval Prophecies 7-inch. And then it was on Necro Sound, Switzerland. Available, the 7-inch, $5 post-paid, 7 overseas. Now you can barely even get out of the post office for under $25 nowadays, you know. So I always send sick flyers with the orders. I try, man, because that's the thing. Like I'm trying to hold the underground down, and you know I want to spread information. I want people to have something to look at with their hey Zulima. I want people something to look at when they, you know, open their package and then basically go and just enjoy, you know, hang it up in their room or whatever, you know. So tonight, you know, we'll play a little bit of music, but this will probably be mostly a show and tell a little bit. Just trying to, it was like a little unprepared for this because I was vomiting all day yesterday. So tonight, let's see what we have lined up here. Again, I want to say definitely funny stuff like, you know, it's like Peer Drop Zine, which is the guy from Listenable magazine, put out a very excellent fanzine back in the day. Death, Immolation, Confessor, Christy McCool, I don't know what that is. My Dying Bride, I know he did a 7-inch with them. He did releases with Immolation. Cathedral, Benediction, Demise, Revenant, bunch of other stuff. This was a good one now, you know. These were some of the labels back then too. Intellectual Convulsion Records. There's a Peaceville thing. There's a little cenotaph thing down there. And some of it, like say with the cenotaph thing, a band like Cenotaph, they would have a release even though they were a Mexican band. Hold on a second, guys. They would have a release on a U.S. label, you know what I mean? And it would be like, here's this 7 inches, The Eternal Disgrace. But then the release label was Enrique from Sadistic Intent, Baphomet Records. So, like this was an early thing I got in trade from Enrique or something. Killer EP too, man. So yeah, just Deranged. Yeah, Deranged was on listenable, definitely, dude. Misery. Yeah, that's a pretty, a little bit more far out there. Play Vomit named bands. The what's up, Benji? So tonight, we're gonna just have like a little mix of show and tell of talking about old school, 1988 through 1994, which were kind of like these peak kind of years for like death metal and black metal, especially the very formative years of the early stuff. They were kind of exciting times because the bands that you heard back then, they were unknown. So that's what made the most exciting part of it. So we can play this because I just showed you it. Death Metal Podcast. So Friday night edition, a little early. Later on, check out Necron with the Witching Hour. Just to do a little housekeeping, Necroharmonic put out some new Evoking shirts where we did a 30-year-old Shades of Night Descending shirt. So you guys should definitely check that out. There's three new shirts out: the Antithesis of Light and the Last of Vitality. We did a couple different long sleeves, so all the pieces parts are starting to roll in on that. So definitely. Also, we have new shirts from Sequestrum and new long sleeves from Undergang, and then we have some colored long sleeves from Undergang. Disma is still available, so if you guys are interested, is a heavy fucking recommend. So tonight, like I said, we're gonna focus, even this is something even that Necroharmonic makes. I saw my man Death Compendium, John Grave, posting a photo of him wearing this today, which is kind of cool, man. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. How different are the breakdowns then and now? Interesting. The breakdowns, they were a little different. I like the drumming and the what do you call it? Old cenotaph, and also the sound was kind of like shitty but good, No word on that, brother. So tonight, I just wanted to take a trip down memory lane with like old ass fanzines and stuff. Like there was these early pieces that I had gotten from Sweden and Belgium and stuff. So like Final Holocaust zine. So this was put out, I believe, from Belgium, and this was a nice resource at the time. It says Roy copy up there because I didn't want to sell my own copy. Like I was distributing this to people, my friends or whatever. So I wanted to make sure I kept one copy for myself. So I wrote Roy copy on top. So this was cool, man. I mean, I see Wes's band, rest in peace, Blaspherion on the back there. Good stuff, There was a lot of good articles and band bios and like different like these small ads were the place where where it was at, dude. There's an article there by Shub Niggurath, as you see. Revenant, Exulceration, Grind Your Mind with Baphomet and Impaler, a My Dying Bride interview, Disrupt. These were important fanzines, and they had a lot of important information. This one even has a poster in it. Let's see, here's a poster. A poster of Exit 13, mixed with a poster, I believe, of Merciless. And then, the reviews, too. So if you read reviews and then you saw some stuff in here, you see a lot of good bands in here, right? Dead, from Germany, Pungent Stench interview, Lunatic Invasion. At the time, too, if you see those little stars and stuff, those were bands that I wanted to write to. Gorefest. I got something else here. Here's an early Relapse advertisement for Gorephobia, Mortician, Amorphous. Also, Relapse was a big influence for, the, you know what I mean? Like by bringing out like a lot of like European bands in the United States, and then their connection with Nuclear Blast America. So they definitely did something big, They brought some next level stuff to the U.S. as far as like some of their old EPs and stuff, like this one right here. Amorphous. I didn't put mine in plastic because I wasn't planning on selling it, basically, So this was, the preface to Privilege of Evil, Vulgar Necrolatry, and Misery Path. So an old 7-inch from Relapse. Let's see what color vinyl we have here. Black. Drew Elliott said on his interview the other day that he drew this logo, or revamped it, which was kind of cool. The Amorphous definitely was cool. Abhorrence, those bands. I have a lot of different connections I had made with a lot of bands all over the world. So I would write letters to like bands in their infancy a lot of times. So I believe I wrote to Grotesque, or I wrote to this band, At the Gates. So they had written me back and sent me a pretty cool package with some interesting, cool at the gate stuff, and then some grotesque stuff, and even a side band they had done called Infestation. And then you had, I remember myself, Ronnie Dio, and the guitar player from Evoken, Nick Orlando. This was before Evoken was formed. We would all gush over this demo right here, the Gorefest Tangled in Gore, which was an amazing demo, man. I mean, this was the heavy shit. And we would be like, yo, did you write to John Chris? And I'm like, yeah, I wrote to John Chris. So, there was a lot of good, there was definitely, good bands out there, man. A lot of good demos. This band right here, Gorment, which Necroharmonic eventually had done a CD release with. Or you would get some flyers in the mail from Europe if you did some tape trading or something like this. Death, Pestilence, Loud Blast, and Morpheus. This is an old tour from, looks like Swedish Stockholm I see on there. Oh no, that's where they distributed it, but the show was 1900. It doesn't, I don't think it has the year on it, but it's probably 1990. So a lot of cool stuff. There was a lot of bands. I mean, a lot of some of the earliest stuff was probably something like this, where this kind of set off a whole generation of people. Napalm Death Show with Paradise Lost, Godflesh. This has to be from like 1988 or so. And then you had a Napalm Death and you had a Carcass. They would cross over and play shows in like Sweden and stuff, and then they left like a big impact on like a lot of like the Swedish bands, and they left an impact on Finnish bands, etc. And then there would be others. There'd be a lot of there'd just be a lot of cool stuff. I remember writing also with this band right here, and you can see on the letterhead, it's pretty cool. What's up, everybody? What's up, Puturbin Hosny? Puturbin Hosny? How's it going, my brother? Straight from Singapore. I wrote with this guy like years ago. So here's an old letter I had written with Grave. Hey Roy, what's up? I forget what it says there. Something that we were talking about, like video cassettes. This is with Jorgen from Grave, and then like I wanted to put out a video compilation in like 89, 90. Like my stepfather had some kind of like dubbing shit at his work. Here's the other side. This told me what he sent me: Grave Advanced 7-inch and Advanced Comp LP record, November 90, with the track list. And see, he like wrote out all the stuff, like these are the songs that would be on the Comp LP, these are the songs that'll be on the Tremendous Pain 7-inch. And then, telling me like where I could go in Germany to get something. And then the tracks from the split LP with Devolution were on here too, like Eroded and all that stuff. So yeah, man, I mean, this was exciting stuff, and it was just cool to collect old what's up, Dan Ferguson? It was cool to collect the old and connect with like foreign people, and then we would exchange like they're fucking gold. We would exchange like information in some of these letters. So that was kind of the coolest part about it. Like this is an interesting one. I thought because like the band wrote to me, Adremelik from Finland. So they wrote to me with this is like their early biography, and they sent, this basically was given an outline of what the band was, and then as you see that logo too, but then they, on a separate piece of paper, they sent this too. The new logo, Adremelik. So this became their logo back then. So it was really cool to get like letters with this kind of cool stuff in it, and see the new logo of the band, which was just a photocopy of a paper, and then hear the band, and they might send you like a rehearsal demo or something, and then it would just be exciting to connect with different metalheads back then. So if you guys are interested too, necroharmonic.com, we sell a lot of different old school death metal shirts. So if you're ever interested to put some shirts on your body, check out our website and buy some stuff, man. That's the way to support Death Metal Podcast too, because basically we don't take super chats or money on here because I don't accept payola for my shows. So and I'm not playing a bunch of stuff I don't like the other shows that are out there. Here's a cool band I had connect with early, but then later we did a CD, so I'm still friends with them. We still have some releases that we're working on too. Eternal Darkness from Sweden. heavy death metal, man, from Sweden. They're right on the Finnish border, though, so there's some Finnish type members in there, too. Cool guys. They've been on Death Metal Podcast. If you guys look around, there's some like kind of interviewee stuff. Jam in the Impaled Nazarene Goat and Deteriorates first demo. Cool, man. Yeah, it's a good one. Early Impaled Nazarene. They when I wrote to Impaled Nazarene back in '91, I believe, they told me I was the first person from America to write to them, which was kind of cool. What's up, Nick? I saw your letter. Your thing is just about ready. They told me that I was the first person to write to them. And the funny thing is, too, inside the letter, they like crossed out one guy's face and they wrote like fucking poser. I guess they had been going through like a little bit of a band changeover, band members. So there was other stuff too that was like kind of early in the game, which was I think influential on the sound beyond, say, Napalm Death. You had demos like this. This is the first Pungent Stench demo, or maybe second, I'm not sure. First official one, maybe. So this was like a lot of bands ended up kind of with that little pungent stenchy sound, They were pretty influential, in my opinion, as far as being like one of the more influential early death metal bands. There was another one too I wanted to show, which I was really, really big on. Let's pull up the photography on this one. Disastrous Murmur from Austria. They had a really amazing 7-inch, which was put out on an early form of Nuclear Blast Records, like Gore Records or something. So this is amazing, amazing. Time Poisoning, and some other song on there. Good stuff. If you have a chance, check it out. Definitely Disastrous Murmur. Maybe we'll play some if I pull it down, man. Yeah, I mean, the purpose of this show, and Death Metal Podcasts in general is just to, show some stuff, show some old school death metal, man, and occasionally we'll do an episode on like black metal or something. I saw Zulima mention our tanks. If you guys want to support the show, yeah, we don't take these fucking super chats. We don't take money to do that. So if you want a physical product, we have shirts: Sequestrum, Undergang, Mayhem, Pentagram, Chile, Black Witchery. We got a whole line of Necroharmonic shirts too. That's probably the thing you could start. Strong start. All right. Early Pungent Stench had some grindcore in it, definitely, dude. And that was good, very exciting to hear the first Pungent Stench record, the For God Your Soul, For Me Your Flesh. Give me 1 second here, because I can't, some of these things I just can't not play them, basically. Yeah, tonight's episode 2 was a little slipshod. I wasn't really ready as much as I would be. Sometimes I come into these with like a lot of preparation. This one, not so much. Here we go. Pull this in and see if we'll get the download on it. I wanted to show you guys some more stuff though too, as far as like from my own archive, I guess. We had I had gotten this old flyer back in the day, pretty old school. Let me just hide this comment. Don't forget the mighty Zizma. Exactly. Thank you. Appreciate it. It supports the show and helps pay for this service, basically, which, StreamYard isn't free. Let me see here. Sorry, I'm not high yet. Let's see here. There's that. The old letters and the old flyers were a big thing. So, there was just things that you got in the mail, and then they helped you find out about bands. So you mentioned Zizma. Like, here's an old Zizma flyer, And then, there was this band too, Putrefaction, which was like a side band of Grave. And I remember this was a heavy demo, man. We can't play it on here, though, because it's It's a copyright breaker, man. This was a cool band too. Necrophobic from Sweden. They were cool guys. Always did really good stuff. Put out a awesome Unholy Prophecies demo, and they went on to put out multiple good albums. Macrodex from Sweden from '89, Infernal Excess demo, which had Roger Peterson and some guys that went on to eventually do some more like symphonic type metal. There was let me see, this old Morpheus, Excruciate, Morpheus, Malfador, Stigmata, Scum, Execration, I believe, and something else. Really old flyer here. Excruciate, amazing band too. If you haven't checked them out, man. They have a pretty sick release. This was a pretty decent Swedish demo. Was a little bit of a game changer, I think. I noticed a little game changer in the New Jersey area by people that were influenced by it. Cemetery, Incarnation of Morbidity. Definitely a good one, something to be talked about, man. And their full-length release was something to be talked about. I just got Necrophobic yesterday. Cool, man. Awesome. Yeah, Macrodex was cool. And Unholy Prophecies. So, yeah, we got Sequestrum merch on vinyl. Who is it that Roy just named? Yeah, Necrophobic does rule. Macrodex. I interviewed Mika on the second New Jersey Metal Meltdown. Very cool. I was at that. That's very cool, man. Let's see here now. So, let me see. Oh, I didn't download the song. That would help. So, there was a 7-inch from a band. They were from Austria. And in my opinion, they like certain bands made a dent, They just, their sound, they influenced other bands in the US, maybe like a Mortician, or they were kind of in the same zone as a Pungent Stench. And then they had this very unique recordings. I'm not sure. Hold on a sec. It's almost there. As far as just different recordings, man. Good recordings and heavy like drum beat parts, man. Here it is. So that was Disastrous Murmur from Austria. They had a 7-inch out on like Gore Records or something, and which was like a early subsidiary of Nuclear Blast. Definitely brutal. Both tracks amazing. Yeah, the vocals are freaking amazing. What's up, JD? What's up, Justin? How's it going? I wanted to show off some more of my black metal and death metal collection too. So we had this, which was a pretty pivotal zine for me. Putrefaction. Again, it says Roy Copy on there because I was distributing this zine at the time. You got Dead from Mayhem on the front there. This was a magazine made in Sweden. The I want to also talk to. I'll show. Let's go back to one comment here. Sorry. That Death Pestilence Loud Blast was in winter '93, I think. I saw the same tour here in Oslo. Pestilence bass player didn't get a visa, so Cadaver replaced Pestilence. Very cool factoid, man. I appreciate. We love the input on here, man. I love the little nuggets, you know. So this is the show we were talking about too. Let me see. Let me just shut your comment off. Sorry. So this was the show he was talking about. Death, Pestilence, Loud Blast, and I guess Morpheus. If this is the one, brother. So maybe I've been rocking a lot of early Disastrous Murmur, Pungent Stents, and Disharmonic lately. Sick. So I mean, there was so many cool things too. I mean, so let's get back to the Putrefaction. This zine right here, Putrefaction zine from Sweden. They were this had amazing addresses and amazing bands in it at the time, and at this time writing to bands was super important to me. So I remember not only just writing to Putrefaction zine, but them selling me like 10 copies or something. I think they sold me 10 and I came back for 10 more maybe, or 20 more, and then I would sell them to my friends in high school or whatever, and or sometime I may have been after high school. I think my girl would sell them to people in high school for me. So some of the bands in here, like the ads are for Disharmonic Orchestra, the first full-length album, Righteous Pigs, and then Condolence. You don't see too much about them. Gorefest, Cadaver, and Master. That's just a Master bio though. Blurg, Death Yell, Suffocation when they were brand new. Thanatos, Unleashed with exclusive photos of them thrashing a bit. Funebre, Autopsy. Foundations 2000 was like a record label back in the day. They put out like Sepeternal Death Rain and Skeletal Earth. So there was, Merciless. This was cool too because it had photos of the bands, Massacre from Colombia, Excruciate, Infestation, Korstrovar from Poland, the beer party band, Gorephobia, Necrophiliac, Cannibal Corpse when they were brand new. Funeral Nation. So this was, they put out a bunch of zines of this, Putrefaction. Definitely this guy named Thomas. Thank you, Thomas. You got me into the scene a little more. And then I would dig deep, man. I would go for the demos, man. I was a demo guy, So I would try to get the demos, man. Grave demo, Anatomy Corpus Humani demo. This was like one of the heaviest demos ever, dude. Or this Dismember Rehearsal demo, man, with its like multicolored like cover where it was like kind of like like a tie-dye almost. This is some real shit. Little later would come something like this, I got this. This isn't an original. I got this through a tape trade, but they gave me the Naru from Obliteration tape traded me this with the cover, and Vomitory promo demo '93. Sick fucking band. Obviously a lot of Swedish here. Yeah, Death Yell from Chile, right? Is that Foundation 2000 also released Gorefest, Mind Loss, and The Gathering. Always awesome. Love the facts, man. Bring them on. This is what the show is about. Like, I didn't really know that they put out The Gathering. That's kind of cool. Yeah, fucking Vomitory. So sometimes, occasionally when we did like tape trading too, it wasn't all about like having the real tape, So here's just a cassette. But, here's the Vomitory's demo cover, which Narutashi, like, just photocopied it for me and threw it in there, So, I mean, there was demos that's how they were acquired. And, we were list for list, basically. And then I could see Vomitory, Carnage, Muco Purulent, Nihilist, and a Japanese band called Yeah, which is what Multiplex. So the era of that tape would be around like when Multiplex ended and the band Yeah started. So such good stuff. Appreciate it, man. You post a lot of good stuff on Instagram, brother. Thank you. I see Necroharmonic stuff in there all the time. I'm all about these dark old zines too. Spectral noise. You got Beherit on the cover there, Necrophagia, Beherit, Asphyx, Old Funeral, Holy Moses, Blasphemy, Candlemass, Grave, Disharmonic, Possessed. So this was another invaluable zine made in March '91. Really cool. This was written by Stig from I think he joined Stygian Occultus. He had joined Mayhem, I believe, at some point, or one of those bands. So the advertisements for like Slayer mag in here. Let's go from the back though. I see Wild Rags. Wild Rags was a thing back then. And then all these little you see that star right there? Necrosis Records, man. Carnage and Cadaver. So that was pre-Earache, Bill Steer's label. So basically it was called Necrosis Records, and their 3 releases were Carnage, Cadaver, and Repulsion. Horrified. There's an old comp 2 here, LP comp, Witch Hunt Records. This is an amazing compilation. It says album guide. That's interesting. Maybe they were just talking about albums. Bad Taste was Harold from Old Funeral. That was his fanzine. So you got an article with Necrophagia in there. Some splatter movie reviews with opera review and Traumatic over here. Some Bolt Thrower. Abruptum. You notice there's a star there by that? That meant that I took this magazine and I wrote to Abruptum. It was, let's see whose address was in here. Tony It Sarka. But I think I wrote with it and all. Because they both answered some of the mail. Occultus was in Thy Abhorrent and opened Euronymous' shop with him. Okay, see? Bringing back the pieces, man. Bringing back the memories. I knew he was a cool dude, and he wrote cool letters, and obviously, if I distributed his fanzine back then, like Final Holocaust or whatever, I mean, it was cool to just have like those connects, and he had all these bands' addresses in his mag that were interesting to me, and then I would write to those bands like Abruptum. So it'd be, like there was some kind of excitement to it, It was something exciting about just, the connection between like American writing to like a foreign band. And I'm sure it's the same if you're from another country, like Leslie from Paraguay, or some of the European UK guys in the chat. You know what I mean? Like when you wrote to other bands when you were younger and stuff, like it was like exciting, dude. It was like, damn, I'm a pen pal with like whoever, Like somebody said, Mika from Impaled Nazarene. Love the show. A lot of great history. Well, this is why we do it, basically, because I feel like I want to bring out and show a part of death metal history that maybe isn't talked about or glazed over a little bit because the bigger money gets in the way, basically, if that's the way you could put it. PR firms and big major labels that kind of just gloss over all the, like Occultus and Abruptum or whatever. Old Funeral, I mean, Old Funeral's amazing. I love the history lessons. Literally so intriguing. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's what DMP is all about too. Anyone that normally watched this, Stan Occultist was a grumpy. I remembered. So yeah, that's what's up, man. So I mean, this is I do the show because of that. I want it, just to be a group thing too. I enjoy the chat, and everybody here is so cool. I appreciate that you tune in so much. We're just about to crack 2,000 subscribers. So if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to our show, and then we'll hit 2,000 subscribers. Roy's OG knowledge should be archived and put into a Bible. We're working on that. Impede. We'll see. We're working on that, actually. There's talk about that stuff. Necroharmonic is the best distro underground. Hails. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, if you want to support the distro, we have some releases like Disma on vinyl. This came out really tight. And then, like I said, we put out some tank tops and Vulcan's stuff recently. And then some of the stuff's in shirts too. There's also the Caustic Vomit if you haven't checked it out. So support Necroharmonic, man. Buy some stuffs. We have records now too in our .com. So I'm starting to bring on a little bit of distro right now. So as you can see, we have some Weregoat records and Torture Rack LPs and stuff. So I wasn't a distro for a kind of a while, but now I'm trying to bring it back, man. I want to be a distro again. I think it's where it's at, and it's part of the death metal underground. And the more I did this show, the more I realized I was like, I gotta go back into being a distro, man, because that's the underground way, man. So this is an old French Massive Extermination. This would take us back probably to like 88, 89. Massacre, Scrotum, Merciless from France. So at Gibus, and you would see that name, Gibus, as a place where they played shows. Cool stuff, Let's see what else. This is a show from Sweden. Carcass, Tribulation, Entombed, and BDA, Symphony of Sickness. Maybe this was the show that was like the real mind blower for all the Swedes, because there was some show there with Carcass where it kind of changed the game a little bit, Hoodies and good music available on Necromind. Thank you, my brother. You won that prize package last time, Tommy. So I'm gonna mail that with your stuff too, bro. The flags rule, appreciate it. Yeah, and they look good, man. I mean, they're pretty tight. Hails, Roy. I'll catch the replay after band practice. Yeah, I mean these flags come out tight. They they cover the holes in your wall in the dirt. So tonight on Death Metal Podcast, this is the 1988 to 1994 edition. And so I wanted to have like a theme of this. That way we would kind of, there'd be a theme of the show, and that way people know, okay, he's just talking about that stuff. And then a lot of this, we're talking about like 7 inches, small flyers. A lot of the small flyers are inside these things too. And they were passed out through the mail too. So basically something like this was another super good Italian zine. It was called Necrotomy, the issue 1, 1990. So that cover, you got Benediction, Subconscious Terror being promoted. And then these were brand new at the time. And Pungent Stench, first album, For God Your Soul, For Me Your Flesh. And also that dark deathcore band down there, which didn't do much. So this was a good one too. You had Durcada, that early ass logo, VNA, that noise band, Sadistic Noise. So you had a little, that French band down here, Misanthrope. So you had a little bit of noise in this too. This one went country by country and talked about different countries at the time, including their own. Maybe not even including their own. But yeah, Durcada. These were like scene reports back then. So this is how you would fucking find out about shit. A French scene report. Czechoslovakia was not the Czech Republic at that time. It was Czechoslovakia. So Slovakia was not, it became its own thing eventually, you know? So you would get these scene reports, and there's a lot of other good stuff in here, man. Ripping Headaches, Death Yell. Let's see what else we got here. Desolation from Greece. You don't hear too much about them. Fetocide from Mexico. Mystifier, when this was pretty much brand new. I want to say that was Recalcitrate, but Rotting Christ and Acheron. Necro Butcher, that band from Brazil. There's a Belgium scene report by the dude from Morbid Noise compilation tape. Entombed when they were brand new. Toxemia. Look at that little maggot masticator thing by my thumb, man. That's like a little advertising, you know? I liked it better back then when things were more mysterious. That's what I'm saying, man. This is some mysterious stuff, because you had to just go by what was in here, and you literally had to take their word for it and feel comfortable. So they talked about compilations in here, Varathron, Slave Necros. Let's see what else we have here. But a whole 4 pages of zine stuff. So, you could write with different zines and connect. Amputation, Pre-Immortal. Isengard, when they were brand new. Death Attack. Darkness, Tiamat, Cadaver. Valhalla, Afflicted Convulsion. There's a Pennsylvania scene report in here. So some of the bands are talked about are like Chaotic Plague, Nunslaughter, Dercada. Let's see who else. Exit 13, Mark Mastro is mentioned in here. Mike Dottie, rest in peace, Mike Dottie. Mike Dottie had an awesome VHS collection. Blasphemy with some photos, Obscene, Putrefaction. There's a Mexican scene report, Abhorror from Singapore, Black Prophecies. This had a very exclusive long Mayhem interview in it. So it had a very cool, awesome Mayhem interview. If you're still watching this, JD. What year was this printed? I don't know if you're talking about this one, but this was from 1990. So that's what it says on the cover, at least. So, I probably acquired it in 91 or 90, depending on, how because things were kind of everything was it's funny, I just throw the zine on the floor. I'm just trying to go through what I do have. That way you guys can see a little something, Yeah, man, it goes back, dude. Embryonic Death was in there. Cool. So you guys caught those little creepers in there. So, I'm glad to share this with everybody, because in a way I want to, I want people to know about things they haven't heard about. And obviously sometimes playing music is not just the only way. Talking about the stuff and showing stuff, is the way, man. There was letters too. The sad thing is sometimes you go through your letters and then you find letters from people you wrote to that are passed on. Like Steve from Purulent. This guy had a band in Canada, between 88 and 94. And they were a sick death metal band. They didn't do much. They had a demo, and then they had a split with some Brazilian band or something. And then I also wrote with Remy Cote too, who so I didn't just write with one person. Sometimes I was the maniac who wrote with everybody for some stupid reason. General Surgery, I tend to go back to Left Hand Path. That album rules. So I got a good photo of my old General Surgery demo, a pretty rare one. I guess show you guys here. Let's see. Let's see if it's here. Sorry about that. There's Stig stuff. I'm sometimes I hold off and I don't show everything at once. So I remember writing to General Surgery for this demo right here. Sorry, the glasses fucked me up, man. Internecine Purience demo, 1990. The drummer from Crematory actually played on that one too. Yeah, it's pretty sick. They sent me an awesome letter, and the guy said that he listens to NWA and Carcass. So at the time, it was so fucking funny to me because I was like, that's what I listen to too. And his name was like Grant McWilliams. I think he continued to be General Surgery's singer. I don't know if he is today. I hope so. But cool guy, man, Grant. There was another band in Tampa called Purulent. They made a demo, but it's nowhere online. Cool. Spread that info, man. Pentagram Vomitory Chile is so I have another. There's a different Vomitory. There's this one from Finland. This was a very rare zine, a rare 7-inch I had gotten from the band members, and it's called A Flesh Eater's Musician and Their Last Supper 7-inch. And at the time, the 7-inch wasn't fully out, so like I had just gotten like kind of like a promo copy version with like a piece of paper on it. I never fully seen like an actual 7-inch of this. I'm sure it did come out. It looked like a self-release too, but yeah, Flesh Eaters That Eat Mushrooms from Outer Space. That's not one of the song names. Cool band. We played them on the Finnish episode of Death Metal Podcast. If it's not erased. So like sometimes the music that we play during this, if we don't talk enough or something, or we play too much, like our Norwegian episode got erased, our Swedish episode, Death Metal episode got erased twice. What else? Like a lot of the music episodes, if I play too much music, like it throws, like a lot of music is copywritten, so it throws strikes on it. If it's just regular strikes, you can kind of let it ride, but there's ones that completely say like, take this video down, or we're suspending your account. I'm glad to see I was there for the finish and so on. Cool, awesome. That art is the creme de la creme. Yeah, so there's the old demos and the way we spread information too, like through the fanzines. Satanic Death from Japan, which was like a really sick one. Sorry guys. Autopsy, Dead Conspiracy, Oblivion Canada, Rigor Mortis New York on there. This is from July in '88, so a very early thing here. Cyanide in there, Primeval, Cremains, Morbid Angel, Mayhem from Brazil, Skullfucker, OLD, Mass Death, July '88. So Satanic Death from Japan, really good zine. I have another old school Japanese zine too. That was a good one. Real high quality at the time too. Mutilation Mag. Look at that cover, man. Issue 4. This had really, really high quality like workage, you know. It was like a little book, you know. And the bands in here are really good too, man. Messiah Death. Let's see what else we could see off the bat here. Torture Crypt. So I mean, it was hitting maybe 93, 94. Fallen Christ. They did a lot of hand drawings in here. Corrupture. Let me see here. Blood Soaked from Mexico. Any you guys fans out there? The 7-inch and stuff. Hibernoid, who are back. Look for a record on Haunted Hotel. Inverted from Sweden. Super sick band. Is a good shit. Brain Dead from Singapore. I had made actually some kind of post about a letter with this band, Brain Dead from Singapore. Like in Singapore, like black death metal was like illegal in 1990. So bands like Abhorror and Mutilation and Brain Dead and everything, they were like in basements and they were like or wherever they were, dude, and they were literally doing the shit like illegally. So God Forsaken, this is a tight band from Finland. Disemboweled, I think they're from Turkey. Corporate Mesius, Vermin, Hazazel from Poland. It's really tight. Astaroth. There's many Astaroths, but Ghost Story, you don't hear too much about them too nowadays. And look at the drawings at the bottom. Like they had, there's one mind blower in here too, as far as a drawing. Damn, I can't even read that one. Sil Kanazazaz. Interesting. And there's a whole interview with them. So there, and this is where you garnished your information from. Basically, you would go through these fanzines, Dying Fetus, and you would read these, and then Militaricaria, I think. You would read these fanzines. This was like the equivalent of like Noxious Ruin back in like 1994 or 3 or something, But there's a really dope page on this. Look at this one. Hand-drawn immolation fucking artwork, Completely cool. So this was like an interview with the band, But when I saw this, man, it was a mind blower, dude. So look at this cover, man. Sick as fuck. Oh, that's Florida Astaroth. What's up, Mark? Cool, man. Yeah, Vomit Remnants, definitely. Yeah, these are sick. I mean, I want to bring the insane stuff to look at here, and then if you guys have anything you want to talk about that I show, I mean, that's kind of cool. Like, not enough people talking about like Sempiternal Death Reign or like The Gathering second album being not put on a Foundation 2000 or something. Yeah, the Gorefest Mind Loss was an amazing one for me too. There's so many, like it's weird how like a time period that's why I did it from 88 to 94, because that particular time period of like death metal and earliest black metal was like the best. And then, I mean, if you're younger, like that's where I would suggest starting, I mean, that I'm sure a lot of you guys already know, but if you were to make a tape for your friend or a CDR or a flash drive or send them a YouTube link in a in a DM or something, or like this, like those years were like they were formative, man. They were definitely some formative things. Astaroth Lost State of Depression is crazy good demo. Ghost Story The Horrors rules too. All right, cool, man. Yeah, I remember reading through these, but maybe that might not have been a band I wrote to, so it's cool to find out like, oh, that was good, or the actors are so old you'd think at first, but they bring it. Yeah, the people that are making death metal are old as fuck. 1988 to 94, the only years I was born in 88, so I was born around the same year when most of the brutal shit was born. But the thing is, you can go back to that now. I remember Prime Evil getting a 9 of 10, and I tried to get the demos, and I still want it. Well, they put them on CD, Prime Evil demos, and they have a new album coming out, Prime Evil. They just, the good thing about social media is that like you can follow multiple like different social media outlets. Like you can follow Facebook, and you can follow like Instagram, which each has its own thing, and then Bandcamp has its own thing, Spotify has its own thing, YouTube has its own thing. So by going around all these different things, if you're just like a music junkie, kind of like me, you could just suck up all this shit. I know people like Phil Nobalone Anzalone are definitely one of those people, because he'll go and he'll hear something on here, or he'll talk about some bands that are some next level shit. Yeah, MySpace was even good. Mark, I had the Execrescent Food for Worms demo back in the day. I wish I still had it. Definitely, dude. So let's see if I have some other music to play or something. I can get up and stretch my legs. Here's some old Demigod live from 92. So there you had some live Demigod from 91 or 92 or something. Demigod and Demolich are my favorite two Finn bands. Cool, man. Those are two sick ones. I like this comment. Metal is so fucking cool. It's the history that makes it even more meaningful than the memories. I can remember blaring Incantation in high school, and the Deftones and Static X kids were like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, I remember playing thrash, and there was a lot of people who were like, "What the fuck is this?" You know, like, what is this Slayer stuff? You know. Or you played something other than Slayer, like say you had like a demo or something, and people are like, what the fuck is this, like, why is this so low, or why does that sound so shitty? But that at the same time I was like, damn, this is the good shit. This is the demos, man. This is, like, don't throw my demo out the window. So I want to definitely send a shout to the guy from the I Abhorrent. Abhorrent. So that was the guy that made that one zine I had showed before. I just noticed this on the back of this old flyer. This was there wasn't many females into death metal. So like this was a cool letter. I remember the girl too, Heidi from Finland, Heidi Lipisanen. She did a zine called Diarrherium Autopsia. And I guess we're speaking on here about like New Disgrace that I was going to put out. And then, we were talking about, like, she was talking about the printing costs and, And something about sending me 10 copies to sell at $3 each. This zine was really good, man. Diarium Autopsia. It was like all like a Finnish and good old school bands, and Heidi and I think another girl had written it together. It was cool to it was just cool to see like other like a female doing a whole fanzine, That band VNA, the band that VNA band in the Necrotomy zine did a split EP with the Gothicles in 1990. If you own it, look at the inlay. VNA have fake mustaches. One is Pat from Thrash Records. Cool, yeah, I have that 7-inch. The VNA Agathocles 7-inch. It's a killer one. I like VNA a lot, actually. Yeah, exactly, Zulima. There was women back then too, and they did a whole goddamn zine. Also, do not discount other people. Like, this is something that was another cool part of death metal and growing up in the early 90s and writing to bands, which would be you would write to like a foreign band and then you might get their fanzine back or something. But so this would be Sit Tiba Terra Lives zine, like a kind of like a digesty half-size zine thing. But the thing is, this is not written in English. This is written in Polish. So the bands they were reviewing back then, I see Solemn, my friends from Jersey's band in there, but Mangled, and this was all written in Polish, man. Sarcastic Terror, Proton Blast, which I remember the name, Dragkita. They played a show for me one time from Ohio. Incarcerated from Poland. Gory Blister from Japan, from Australia's in here, but all the writing it's all in Polish. I believe it's the same story with this one too. Let me see. Yeah, this one too. So this one's called Dead. What the fuck is it called? Dead. I want to say Dead Hole. I'm not sure. So this was all written in Polish, and then the thing is, it didn't matter. It didn't matter, man. It could be written in a different different language, but the language barrier didn't matter because the band's logos were in here, the addresses were in here. The zine editors usually wrote you in English, so like you could at least have something, but they wrote it primarily for Polish fans. You see Baphomet in there. This was probably from 92, 93-ish. Cool printing and stuff. These were a cool thing. Godforsaken again, huh? I guess they were getting a little promo run there. Audio Stench. They're a good noise band. If anyone's into noisy stuff, like whoever was talking to me about VNA. They have a good split 7-inch out. Nurgle. Here's a photo with Incantation. Nargel magazine from Denmark, actually. Sorry, an interview with them. Tenebrae. There's a ad there for lubricant actually too. Any fans of lubricant like Alexis or my friend Ian, they're big lubricant fans. Meat Shits. There's a Voices from the Dark Side actually there too, which I could show you guys something else. Fester, who put out a pretty sick first release. Yeah, man, these were Syndrome was a very important band. They had a very good thing. So it says some of the other bands I might not have mentioned. Ater was in here. Grinder Productions. Paroxysm. Exempt. Decomposed. Temperance, Regardar, I think they're from Lithuania. Discharge, Ancient Rites was in here. So a lot of good stuff, man. The foreign zines were cool too, man. You would get information off these, and even off of the back of Heidi's letter right here, which is Drowned Productions when they used to put out cassettes back in the day. So they had good, Drown Productions was pre to some other record label, but you had a band called Suffocation from Spain, Rotted Flesh, Defaced, Extreme Masturbation, Human Waste, Kokio Crispies, it says, I think. Necrophiliac, who I think put out a record too eventually. Sarcastic Souls. It looks like Unbound Terror. So I mean, there was these things were like they were the way we spread our info around. It was through flyers, letters, but sometimes these letters would be written with like information in them, and there was no internet, so goddamn lubricant and panda wasn't Meat Shits AC. I don't know what that means. They're two different bands. Suffocation. We had Suffocation in the early 90s. Definitely. Yes, I have the Suffocation, early Suffocation demo. There's always those underground bands that you see in every zine. Yeah, that's true too. A little bit, It just seems like at the time maybe they're doing like a promo run almost. But it was underground then. It wasn't like they sent their stuff around. Primogentium in there too. Cool, yeah, from Mexico. So there was, these were exciting, and anyone that lived through this, I hope that even if you didn't, I hope that I could somehow make you feel excited about like these things that excited me, basically. This was a pretty good one, I thought. It's called Ugly Zombie Zine. It says the first meal, so I'm assuming that means the first episode, issue. I always say episode because it's a stupid fucking podcast. So yeah, Ugly Zombie Zine. Nothing on the back there, but this one was cool because it had its like logos were mad big, so it was like kind of like super good artwork. So they were talking about Ugly Zombie 90 coming out in 92. And I can't remember the name of this artist. I know I have a poster from him now. This is on some other kind of shit, but this guy did some good stuff. I don't know if he did art for Old Funeral or something. So you got Grave and Malevolent Creation in this one. Sacred Reich, Incubus. These are show reports actually from Holland. That one's from Holland. This zine was from Holland. So yeah, Sacred Reich show, A Morbid Angel Sadist. Decompose UK, it's good stuff. Morpheus, before they became Morpheus Descends. And then what else do we have in this lovely tome? A show review from Cannibal Corpse, Loud Blast. So Cannibal Corpse was getting busy doing shows in Europe, even in the 1991. Pungent Stench with a bunch of band photos. Some Agathocles there, Exulceration Sexorcist show in the Netherlands. A lot of good photos in this one. They're all black and white. Massacre, Immolation, Morgoth. There's an old Necroharmonic advertisement in there, and it has like one of my when I lived on Lafayette Place before I moved from Elm Street to Lafayette Place. So this had to be 91, and they put an old because I had distributed Gorephobia stuff that early. They were my early release, and then that Fatal right there too. Can't sleep on Fatal, man. A Rashtakong. Some Revenant tour information about like a Revenant Gorefest show in Europe. Epitaph. Excruciate. Let's see what else we got here. We'll go through fast. Tiamat. Repulsion. Impetigo. A Putrid Offal. Embryonic Death again. Let's see here. Dissect. Resurrection from Jersey. Cool. Crossfade and Bomber. Looks like the zine's starting to fall apart. Balance and Terror. Flesh Crawl. Pre-Suffocation. Sinister. These were like some some bookmark or something fell through there. It's got an old Torture Crypt. It actually has it's a postcard that this Torture Crypt sent me when to tell me about one of their shows in 95. So shout out to Torture Crypt, man. So this is the way we got our info, and we looked through these zines. Yeah, glue sticks. We would make a zine with glue sticks. I want to live on Elm Street. Yeah, when I used to live on Elm Street, people would at first they would ask me. They say, "How's Freddy doing?" And I said, "I don't know what the fuck they're talking." I was like, "Oh I get it, They're like, oh, you live on Elm Street with Freddie? That was that sadistic intent impending doom on one of the pages. I'm sure it was, man, because this, I'm all about the old school, so that's why, I stay rooted in that with what I listen to and what I show on here. As far as, there was also like this kind of came too. This was like in a more like doomy zone, like the fanzine, or this issue was at least. Mortician Mag. I think this was from the Netherlands. I'll check inside though. But you had My Dying Bride, the Danish Scene Report, Evisceration, Catatonia, Beyond Dawn, The Eternal Mordor, Opeth when they were brand new, The Chasm. Some old ass Drown Productions, advertisement on the back about the releases that were going to come out, which at the time: Demigod, Alter, Carnage Split, Pertinence, Necrophiliac, and then it says Rochivore. Now these two releases, I don't think those came out actually. It says Cenotaph TBA. I don't know if that came out there. And Shub Niggurath, The Black Goat Arises. I'm not really sure if that came out on Drown Productions either. Drown Productions went under, so maybe a few of their releases went under too. Little article on Peaceville in here. This was written small, so like you had to really dig in, Malediction, who just recently reformed, live Chronicles of Desertion CD. I wonder if this is past 94 actually, just based on that one thing. My Dying Bride with a nice color piece in the center here. What else we have here? Cenotaph Records. This was an important record label actually. They put out Autumno, Human Remains. Look at that word processor work in there too, Ian. They put out Autumno, Gorefest, Human Remains, Rochivore, Ceremony, and Sklogmore 7-inch Dutch. So Cenotaph Records, man. Adwin. I remember years ago, this was a really good record label. What's good, brother? Yeah, Shub Niggurath. Yeah, Demigod and Cenotaph. What's going on, Stefan Goldberg? Yeah, no problem, dude. Human Remains and Gorefest Rules. Definitely, dude. There's, let's see if I had it here. I have this old live Gorefest 7-inch. This is on Cenotaph Records, actually. This was a live EP they put out, taken from like a soundboard thing. So Cenotaph Records, it's over in like this. No, the other side. My finger's over it. So yeah, old record, 7 inches, man. 7 inches are everything, dude. Like demos and 7 inches. Big hole record too. This is a really good one now. Gorefest. If you want to check it out, or YouTube or something, This is a very good live 7-inch. The qualities. It's called Live Misery. Definitely check it out. Check out, go back to, go to Discogs and read up stuff, and then you'll see stuff about, you still got yours. Cool, man. You'll see stuff. There was a band earlier I would say this would go back to like the 88-ish times. This band I'm really into, Fear of God. They're not a death metal band, really. They're kind of like a grindcore band, but they have some death metal-ish parts. What do you call it? They had a couple early 7 inches out. They were definitely kind of like in the Napalm Death zone mixed with like noise. So definitely some cool vinyl back then too. I think this was put out maybe 92, 91, 90. So definitely check out Fear of God. I'm sure we played them on here too. Swish Grind, exactly. I'm totally into them. An OG metalhead told me about Rochivore show, and he said the floor was shaking and the walls, and it felt like they were going to cave in. That happened also to me. I threw a show with Evoken at a bar, and the next day, the owner from the next door building, he came and he complained, and he told the owner that the foundation cracked on his house. So I thought that was so cool, because I was like, damn, we were all in that room, but meanwhile the foundation cracked on the house next door because it was so fucking heavy, dude. That bass, you know. So evoking, man. And if you want to support Necroharmonic, shamelessly plug new Evoking shirts, because they were probably playing the Shades of Night Descending back then, you know. So, you know, check it out. Here's an old school cool flyer, I thought. Autopsy, Paradise Lost, Benediction. So this was a tour in Europe, but this was I guess their UK show at the time. Think about this show, man. Autopsy, all bands in their prime, you know, like Severed Survival, Autopsy, Paradise Lost, Lost Paradise, and Benediction, Subconscious Terror era, featuring Barney from Napalm Death. So £4 in advance, £5 at the door, or 450 conks. Yeah, so this, you know, there was cool, there was such good shows and good scenes and tours in Europe. Cool dudes, you know, you get cool stuff in the mail. Pertinence, it's like a old photo of them just like hanging. And, you know, they wrote cool letters. They were cool guys. Let's see, we showed that actually. So here's an old Finnish flyer from some of the earliest Finnish bands, a Mosh Masters Fest. I think it's 10 Laput here, because I see 10. And then you have Protected Illusion, Oppression, and Terrific Verdict. Pretty rare stuff. I showed you guys that one. Let's see here. We got anything else? This is a good one. Nihilist, Dismember, and Treblinka all together. $15. Dudes Metal. Swedish, old Swedish, incredible show, man. I'd love to read these, man. So this was an early show, obviously, with Dismember and Nihilist. This is the one, yeah, $450. What a price. And now, yeah, I don't think you could see Paradise Lost for $450 or Anathemia. Happy to see that. Yeah, I'm wearing a Crematory shirt because I changed my shirt right at the last second. I was like, I have to put on a foreign shirt, man. I got this other shirt on. It doesn't fit with the show. Dudes is slang for death in Norwegian. I believe also in Swedish. So let's see. Let's go to the archive. This was a cool one. Benediction and Dismember, Mentis Terror. Some German tour thing. It was like, you will die. So this was something that Nuclear Blast passed to me when I wrote to Nuclear Blast back in the heyday, weird days, old times, you know. This one's a pretty tight one because this band never plays any fucking shows, and then the lineup on this is super tight. Dark Throne, Abhorrence from Finland, and Cadaver. So Dark Throne, they don't really play shows, you know. So this was one of very few Dark Throne shows that were thrown at the time. And the lineup of this show is just incredible. I see the name of the place was called Bootleg or something. I'm not sure if that last part is Hardback 10 or Hardback In. But, I mean, look at this lineup. Like, Dark Throne. Imagine seeing Dark Throne nowadays. They completely, like, you know, did not want to do any shows, which I kind of respect, you know. And then Abhorrence comes from Finland, and then you have Cadaver from Norway. So I think this show was in Norway, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe one of you guys know. Maybe you guys want a Dark Throneologist. September 28th. Dark Throne never toured. They played like 10 shows and are legends. Exactly. I think they played like 5 shows. But maybe it was 10. Who was the most fucked up person you wrote to when you tape trade? The band that sent like fucking, they were from like they were from South America or something, and they there was a lot of fucked up people I wrote to, first of all. So I'll be very clear about that, because I wrote to people that were in prison. I wrote to people that were like some band in South America. They're called Excremento. and the guy like wiped his ass on the fucking tissue and like put it inside the letter or whatever. And I was like, yo, why the fuck does this letter smell so bad? And then he told me like, you know, like I like opened it with care too, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, we're excremento, you know, I fucking came on this letter. I'm like, whoa. You know, like, you know, I'm like going to wash my hands afterwards. Jerry SC from California was a nutcase. He would write like 6-page back and front letters, and he would basically say like, you know, I'm on meth or something in the letters. He's like, sorry the letter's so long, but I've been doing meth for 2 days, you know. So I mean, those would be some of the. There was the guy that traded vodka for, you know, for metal. There was that guy, Kirill. There was 2 guys actually that did that, and they would send vodka, and then you know, I told the story on here already, but like I went to the post office and they're like, you can't have this is illegal and you can't send that. And then he's like, oh, I'll let you take this case, you know. I'm like, yo, why are some of the bottles smashed, dude? He's like, I don't know. I was like, yo, why are some of the bottles like missing? He's like, oh, the guys that work here drank it. Dude's all gawked out and writes a manuscript to Roy. Yeah, dude. I mean, I probably could pull one up actually. But well, I'll do that after the next song or something. He wrote a damn manuscript to me, man. It was pretty insane, dude. I mean, there was times when those letters were cool though, because he was talking to me about like carcinoid and like all this like really kind of like you know, kind of deep Cali stuff, you know. So I mean, at the, you know, I appreciated the letter because there was a lot to glean from it, you know. I mean, I don't think that it's bad when you get a letter from somebody that basically is giving you a lot of information, even if they are fucking tweaked the fuck out, you know. But those were, you know, there's other weird ones too. I'm just not really thinking about them at this stage. You know, there would be death threats. There would be people that didn't like you because you sent, you know, I maybe did a fanzine and put a bad review. Or, there'd be somebody I wrote to that told me that, like, you know, how much they loved Cannibal Corpse, and I wrote them back. I was like, I don't really like Cannibal Corpse. And then, you know, they would send back a letter of hate, basically, you know. And then they would have their girlfriends write and send back letters of hate to me, but I think they had enjoyed writing whatever they were enjoying. They were, you know, talking about like stepping on my nuts with their fucking spike fucking things or whatever. W.S. Meth was like writing a book, exactly. Did you ever get any chocolates or snacks from other countries? You know what? Not really. I don't remember getting any kind of food, really. The closest I got to getting food from the Swedish was later from one of the guys from like Repugnant or whatever. He had given me some candy at a festival. I'm trying to think about food. Did I get any food? I got a letter from Holocaust Vengeance with a picture of a fucking dick on a flower pot. I don't know if that means anything, but that ain't food. Bergen chocolates? Oh, Belgian chocolates. Not too much food, man. There wasn't too much food running through there. East Asia had the best candy and snacks. On the bottom of the letter, oh, by the way, this entire page was dipped in liquid LSD. There would be people that would talk to you about drugs in the letters because they were on them, or drinking, or I'm drunk, or I can't finish this letter because I've been drunk all night, you know, but I wanted to write you back and I was thinking about it. It's 3 a.m. and, you know, and then there'd be people that be like, you know, say some you know, some whatever stuff, you know, and they're, you know, crazy shit, you know. It was good though. I mean, most of the letters were based in like very, you know, kind of like, you know, like, here's a letter from a very obscure band, Satanic Evil, from Finland. You know, hey, it's blasphemous. Thanks a lot for your letter and trade. It was great. Great scene in your area. Evil. I'm happy you're interested in our band and very evil. It's all brutal demo sound, not good, but who cares? If you like the music, we'll send a new demo to you when it comes out. I think they broke up though. Be glad if you distributed it. Thank you for your time. Blasphemous. So this is a pretty rare one, man. Satanic Evil. I know some poacher ass fucking record label some whatever, I don't know what you call it, scenester, Clout Chaser record label put out a record on that. Sending to a schnauzer to everyone was a legend. That's somebody that might send you something like Jim Kanye. Have you ever got a letter from Pele, Varg, or Euronymous? I got a letter from Euronymous only. It just had to do more with like, do you want to buy some Death Crush records or something like that? And Merciless records too. So it was kind of pre Varg era. I wasn't super into black metal. And Pele didn't really write too many letters. Like he wrote to some people, but not too many. You probably, some of these guys are maybe just a little bit ahead of my time. You know what I mean? So I would just say that too, just as a preface. Like even though say a Varg is in my time, I remember getting a letter from Peda from Old Funeral where he told me that Varg had joined the band. And then also I got a letter from him saying that someone named Thorlak had joined the band after Varg. So I mean, I would hear things, and then once the stabbings happened and all that stuff, you got letters about that. You would get letters and people would be like, hey, this Varg killed Euronymous, like things like that would come in the mail, and sometimes the first time you heard about those things were through the mail, basically. So it was like an interesting way to spread information through letters. The deepness, where you would kind of connect with these people was kind of like a cool part, because like when you got a letter from like a really obscure foreign country, or like Japan, or like Thailand, or like South Africa or something, or it was like really cool, like just looking at the stamps, the way they looked. And then inside it would always say, send back my stamps. And I'm like, I want to keep these, And also I didn't even know what send back my stamps meant at first. Imagine Varg writing to you. I could see it though. I mean, Samoth from Emperor would write you a letter, or John from Dissection I wrote with. You know what I mean? So like these people they weren't off limits, Nowadays you look at like Pele, or you look at John from Dissection or something as a person who's like some kind of god figure, ungod figure, let's call it, and you think like, well, they were, rock stars or whatever, but they weren't, man. They were real ass people. So if you wrote a letter to John from Dissection for their demo, you would get a letter back, and he would probably talk to you about his like fanzine or something. So there was a lot to it, man, Yeah, you wish you wrote letters, but you're born in 94. There were still people doing it in like late 2000s, but it kind of had calmed down a little bit by then because the internet. I was at that Dark Throne Abhorrence Cadaver show, one of the top 5 I was to. It was in Thorislav in Oslo. Dude, thank you for the information, man. Appreciate you being on tonight. Return my stamps. Even in the 90s and the 2000s, I was still doing that. I didn't even know what it meant at first, dude. Yeah, what a fucking era, dude. I mean, these were good times, man. So let's see. Again, there was a band I wrote to from Singapore, and as I mentioned earlier, like, I don't know, it was like illegal to be into black metal or death metal in Singapore or something. Because I remember they would send you a letter and they would tell you like I could get caned. I could get caned for this or something. I'm 41. We had MySpace and email contact bands, definitely. Stamps, a thin layer of glue so the postal mark would soak off easily with rubbing alcohol. Yeah, I didn't know that when I was getting the letters. I remember one guy I sent like a shit ton of them. I was like, oh, you live in Sweden? Yes, okay. This is a good question. Was it easier to write letters by hand or with a typewriter? So the earliest letters I sent were by hand because I didn't own a typewriter. And then eventually I did own a typewriter. And then I owned a typewriter where it did that little backspace where it would like remove like the part that you had to fucking white out and type over or whatever. So it had like a whole self-erasing system. I used that to write my first or second fanzine, both of them probably. So yeah, a heavy metal band and rock is illegal in Singapore. Yeah, it was illegal. So yeah, writing to dissection, like, you can canonize these bands as unholy gods now, but and back in our days, like, you could write a letter to Varg or John or Euronymous, and you probably would get a reply. So I remember writing to this band in Singapore and just being blown away by their bio, all this kind of stuff. And the demo was called Rumpus of the Undead. It's from 89, but I got it in 90. And they told me it was fucking illegal to be a Singaporean fucking black metaler.
Tu madre, maldito puerco degenerado. Hijo puta.
So pulverized necrobrains from Peru. I wanted to bring a little grind into this episode too because we didn't, death metal, grind, and black death and black metal kind of all were running in the same circles, and early doom metal stuff. So like you would see an advertisement for something like that band. Yeah, amazing art and just phenomenal, different. Same with Abhorror. Like their sound was so different, and then like receiving a letter from them, like it wasn't just about the letter, man. It was like there was like a full fucking biography in there where like they drew all the side parts and everything, not by hand, but like they photocopied it or something. And then they would have like all their lyrics and like their band information and like maybe some incantations or something. Like it would be like some next level you open the mail and it was like a present from a foreign country, dude. Am I growing a beard? Nah, I just wanted to shave it off, but I just didn't have time. So the there was just different like I had said earlier, and just to recap a little bit, that we got information from fucking Metal Forces, from little paragraphs. Like you see like one little tiny paragraph. Let me see if there's just one in here. Bay Area Thrashers Violence have signed to Mechanic Records. So that's not death metal, but let's see if there's any death metal in here. Hollow's Eve, Agent Steel, French band Thermonam Pal, don't know that one. Ice Age, Heathen. Some of these things were infested with a little bit of payola too, But then sometimes, you've seen little things in the back here, these little like classified ads. Experienced drummer seeking thrash gigs. Heavy metal t-shirts, posters, pendants. Yeah, because people like necklaces and stuff back then, and spikes. So it was like you had like TV posters, patches, Guns N' Roses, Heart, Metallica, Megadeth, Bon Jovi patches, articles with a lot of like hard rockers, Metallica and shit. It's funny how they're chopped up too. But here's the good section again. This was like the good part of Metal Forces. But the thing is, there's 8 bands in here, but only maybe one will catch your eye, So you have like Sorcerer, NX, Roger something, and Pandemia. So maybe Pandemia is good, but there's a good band right here, Count Raven. So showing early Doom stuff with the Count Raven over here, Or over here, I should say. So, like these little demo sections were like, kind of like where you found out about like early bands, and if there was like an address or something. Silent Scream, Armored Angel from Australia. They went a little extensive in this, but they gave 6 whole fucking pages, or 4 pages worth. This was pushed hard back then, like bands like Harder Attack, or like Metal Duck, or like a bunch of like UK bands and not really that good. Like in my opinion, I was allured by them, but I don't know if I was always I would read the reviews on them, and they were killer in there, but I just, something about the stupid pictures just didn't really do for me. The if you guys want to also, there's like a lot of books with like resources nowadays. So even if you check Amazon, you can type in Death Vomit and then find like a thing where it has a Death Vomit thing where it has all 3 Death Vomit releases. Or this was a good book, the Istin Fanzine, Don't Break the Ghost. I mean, this was a massive book, and it encapsulated like everything the guy from Istinzine did, which was like amazing Finnish fanzine. So, like there's like the Tales from the Dark Side book is good, Slayer book. So you can definitely catch a lot of info from some of those. I haven't looked at any kind of decibel ones, but I really haven't heard much about them either. I have the Death Vomit fanzine. I have 2 of them. Yeah, cool. Istin was fucking awesome. Istin was amazing, man. They had a lot of good info in there, and you would just find those addresses and bands, and it was, and then sometimes you write to the band, they send you like a photo, a crematory or something with their, look at the equipment back then, and look at those thrashers in the front with their flannels on. That could be like members of Entombed or something. But they got their, they got cool equipment, and I think that has a headless guitar actually right there. That's what you guys talk about sometimes. It's weird to think that Crematory played headless guitars. Quadrivarium Zine, I remember that name. Man, when I got into drugs, I've been fighting a heroin addiction, Satan knows how long. I've done that in English. So yeah, I mean, there's like get Carla's book. It's in Spanish but limited. I got a copy of that actually. Hold on a sec. Let me take this Crematory photo now. Carla, his book is amazing. Look how fucking thick this is. This is and then it's awesome because basically like in the back, and I mean, well, the back's awesome too, but like in the first like sector, like one of the first bands interviewed in here is like Pentagram from Chile, So she showed that she hand bound these books, so that's really cool. Like seeing someone do a hand bound book is amazing. It's 600 pages, isn't it? I'm sure, man. I mean, this is fucking thick, dude. This is a fucking book and a half. You talk about fanzine, dude. I mean, this is a fucking fanzine and a half. I mean, I know it's newer, but I mean, a lot of the stuff she covers in here, things like Kraken when I'm opening it, big ass articles about Unleashed and stuff, Master. Got some yellow pages in there with some info about Rot. Just very detailed information. Pentacle from the Netherlands. Church of Disgust, who are newer, obviously. Impetigo, a huge Impetigo interview in here. Blood. So, yeah, Carla. Shout out to Carla. Good shit. Thank you for putting that to me because, I think she felt that I definitely needed to rock that, dude, Cool, man. You got the same one? Cool. You got the same Crematory shirt? Awesome, man. Yeah, Wrath from the Unknown. Impetigo rules? Hell yes. So definitely. The, Rot was a killer grind band. Also, Purulence, the wife of the guy from Rot, was definitely cool too. Since we're in grind lane too, I wanted to play this because I wrote to Pyogenesis to get the Pyogenesis demo, and then I wrote back, and this guy, Ollie Roeder, wrote me back, and he told me, hey, me and members of Pyogenesis, we do another band, and this is the band. And I put this out as a 7-inch.
Be quiet, you'll wake the neighbors. Don't cut me! Don't!
Gut from Germany. So I have to throw in some grind and gore grind in here because that was definitely part of between 92. I mean, not 88 and like 94. It was in there, man. Like Impetigo, they did do influence on a bunch of bands like Gut and stuff. He drew the cover for that. Actually, he drew the cover for that Gut 7-inch. What's up, Roy? Just been watching, haven't been in the chat. How's it going? We Are Spirits World. Luigi, just chilling, my man. All right, I love how like the community. So we're gonna be rolling down this episode a little bit. Impetigo Rule 2, definitely, dude. I was at MDF when these guys played that year. Oh, you were at that? Damn, I was up on stage with those guys that year with Gut. We had the dancers and everything. Steve-O art, that's correct. The Impetigo had explicit Steve-O art that was extremely hard to print, man. When I put that out, like it was everywhere I went was like, no, my wife works here. No. They're like, is that necrophilia on there? So I mean, it was like, oh man, this is a tough cookie to crumble to release, you know. I mean, we're gonna go over like one or two more like countries and stuff, and then, you know, thank you for everyone that did tune in. Jeff Chapman, Luigi, Stefan, Evan, Synthetic Life, Ian, Eric, appreciate you, man. Yeah, what a cover. Aaron, Leslie, always. What's up, brother? Defile, check out their distro. Thank you, K-Moss. You definitely must be my age because the stuff you talk about is the same same stuff. Metal George, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Justin, always, dude. Impede, War is my name. Yeah, man. I guess you're from Finland or something. Zulima, appreciate you. Everybody that tunes in. It's like, you know, Benji, like everyone that tunes into this and gets interactive in the chat. Like this was a mind blower for me, man. Giant Garn. Good chat, or whatever that is. Thank you for chiming in, man. Like your comment means a lot because not too many people could say that they were at a Dark Throne show. So, you know, I appreciate people that do. Jason Donovan, thank you, man. Yeah, I hope they send me a page dipped with liquid acid. I appreciate all you. Go buy some Necroharmonic stuff, people. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, please support the label. That's the best way to support Death Metal Podcast. Keeps the episodes rolling, and then, you know, just there's other stuff, you know, that we're going to be putting out too. I'm probably going to be putting out a tape form of this, so check this out. So beyond the Finland love and Swedish love that I'm throwing so much on here, I can't forget my Australian war brothers, and I feel like I left them out. I think I might have left out Japan too, but this is an international show, so we got a couple more. So check this band out, something we released too. Yeah, so I'm gonna play something from Japan. If you guys want to throw like two or three, I'm gonna pick selectively because I'm not gonna be on forever. But two or three countries that maybe I didn't touch. You know what I mean? Like maybe we could play a few requests on here. Demo. It has to be demo type band or 7-inch band from between 88 and 94 though. So check out this band from Japan. Good friends of mine. Later became Anatomia as well. I have something else after this to play too, but throw me some band countries that I didn't play or some band names, things. A couple requests.
As the silence of the soul, over ruins in my face, talking for the station, on the river to its mind. I am a hero, but destiny hyena. Let the feeling standing up, they restore my body place. I become a rocking ghost, so the freedom for my soul. I am a hero, but destiny hyena. Baby box, baby stole my moving face. I discover running through for the freedom moving soul. I am, Jesse, I am. Such a progress with the time, conquers back to the moving place. Not no Tuesday, cost your box, leave us by the moving road. I am, eternal hyena.
Right, so with the requests, I seen one that was a country we didn't play, I don't think. Denmark. Denmark did it right. So here's one from Denmark. This band, I remember seeing their name in the fanzine zone a bit. Let me see if it's. Sorry, I might not have downloaded it properly. The like I would see their name about fanzines, and then I would see their stuff about like I didn't know what kind of band they were. I thought they were a death metal band, but then once I heard them, I was like, oh, it's kind of like a death thrash band, but definitely tight. Also, last week, just to recap, we did an awesome interview with Noxious Ruin label. So definitely go back and check that out if you have not. They talked about the making process between their tapes, their magazine, and all kinds of cool stuff like Brian and West Rule. They put out a new release today with Anatomia, and definitely go buy it. And it's like in a special box and everything. So thank you. Yeah, that was a great episode, wasn't it? It was amazing to go down that rabbit hole and just see find out more about the label and then the way they did the things. Nice to get to listen to label guys talk shop. Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it to expose other labels because I like. But I want to talk shop too because I think that in a way, it might help other people that come on here want to do creations. Maybe they got something hidden inside of them, and they got a cry cut or Cricut machine, and they want to make something, or they want to print some shirts. I mean, Brian kind of showed that you can print shirts on a goddamn hinge. I mean, I print shirts, but not on a hinge. It was what this sorry. Even it was cool to get exposed to it. Yeah, and they played some exclusive songs. My internet's lagging just a little bit, which is rare for me. So let's see here. This was a band. It's still downloading? Well, let's go to Greece right now since we did. La Megathon. So I'm gonna take this last request. This was from Zulima. She said, "Any Philippines?" So there's a band. This is band is a band from the Philippines that formed in 1993. There's not much from the Philippines either because they were also an oppressive country that would cane your ass if you played metal. So there's not too much. There ain't too much Filipino black metal or death metal, especially in the early 90s. It only took like a couple years later for it to catch to it. So I never played this on here before. Let's see. The band name translates to goat. It's Canabring. to say that one was awesome. So that said, that band was formed in '93. That demo rehearsal was from '97, and then the band was active in 2021 or 22, and then two members are passed away. One passed away in 2022, actually. So that was a definite rarity and awesome. Thank those Filipinos were down back in the day. You know what? It was illegal. It was illegal to be Filipino fucking black metaler, basically. Like, they would beat you or something, or kill you, basically. We need a death metal column, a small town, diehard fans, a liquor store, memorabilia for upcoming bands. Cool. So this is going to wrap up tonight. Everybody that tuned in, appreciate you and appreciate the requests. That way we played it, we played a Filipino band. That's kind of sick. I like to, just do things a little different. Obviously, I don't take money for requests and all that stuff. I want this to be a learning journey, not only for myself, but for everyone else too. And I hope that I brought something to the table here that you guys could, either go back to or just put something in your head, man, like it was the Catholic shit that it was. Makes me want to try to find more 90s bands from Malaysia, Philippines, etc. No one, you don't hear about many because there wasn't too many. I checked Metal Archive to find that and search under Philippines, and that's where I had found they had some releases, and their band name was Cambing, and then which basically means goat in Philippine. So that's cool. The band's name is Goat. So I appreciate everybody that tunes in to our episodes. Tomorrow we're gonna have another episode. Actually, maybe I could show you the flyer. Right? We're gonna have another death metal podcast tomorrow. Let me upload the my flyer for my own show. Tonight was a little weird because I had a stomach bug yesterday, so I didn't really I just vomited for 8 hours, and then we still did the show tonight though because I felt a little better. So tomorrow though we're gonna do this would be a good show too to check out because we're gonna explore some record labels from the last 2 years, from 2022, 23, and 24. So I want to, maybe it'll be interactive if I can get a couple record labels to come on and say something about their label or whatever too. So this is tomorrow. Death Metal Podcast on the 9th. It starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, and it'll look into 2022 to 2024 record labels. Who are your favorites? And then so join us Saturday night and talk about who your favorite record labels are. You just grab the La Megathon 7-inch. That's so sick, dude. So yeah, so tomorrow we're gonna talk just about record label stuff, and then what is it? Odious, Formless Odeon from the Philippines. Cool. Yeah, and Defego or whatever from the Philippines. I think they came after '94. So I was trying to find the early thing. I don't even know. I didn't really nail it, but they said they formed in '93. So anyway, so very cool, man. So tomorrow, yeah, join us. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about record labels. So we'll talk more probably about newer stuff, and maybe we'll talk about bands that reissued old stuff, and I'll probably not talk about my own record label at all. I want to how do you spell the last band? Okay, let's see if I can find it here. It's right here. Copy. So this is what to look for. Let me see here. I found it on Metal Archive. Cambing. So check it out. That was the rehearsal demo from '92 or something. So we're gonna go out of here. We're gonna go out of here with one more of the requestee bands. And this is live. Yeah, they formed in '93. Oh, Defego? Maybe they did. I'm not sure. They could be from that far back. Philippines has good bands. They have a huge scene there. Like if you see Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, like they have a huge metal scene, dude. You know, play a Primeval song. This is more about. This was the Euro edition of this show. I'll do a US 88 through 94 edition if you guys want. So let's play this to head out of here. Like I said, this was a Dutch piece of metal. If it downloaded. Let's see here. Invocator. I'll see you guys around, man.
Yeah.
So tune in tomorrow to Death Metal Podcast, 8 p.m. Eastern, and then we're going to do a show about record labels. I'll see you guys there tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I hope that everybody enjoys the rest of their night. Check out necroharmonic.com if you want to support the channel. Buy some stuffs. This is the link. Or necroharmonicbigcartel.com. So thank you for supporting too, anyone that has. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody that comes through here. Benji, Zulima, Baphometic, Fanny Packer, Erin, Teddy Tommy, Synthetic Life. You know, I wanted to play a few requests on here and not ask for money for them. Justin, always, brother. Thank you. Appreciate you always supporting the show. And Giant Gorgonax. Thank you, man. I appreciate your insights about the Dark Throne show. That was super fucking cool, dude. So support and check out the Witching Hour with Necron, and then whatever else Francisco has going on this week. What's up, Rick Boast? So tonight we're gonna wrap it up though, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Check out the record label show tomorrow.